You're listening to Nurture Your Zest. I'm your host, Ashleigh King, and I will introduce you to a wealth of interesting, fascinating individuals from all walks of life who will share their stories, how they've overcome challenges, and you will find out their top tips for success. Through this podcast, you can gain tips to grow and change your life and the way you see the world, and help you to nurture your zest. Hi, hello everyone. I am Ashleigh King, and how exciting. I have got such a special episode for you tonight, because tonight I'm going to tell you the biggest secret of my life, and oh my gosh, it's so scary to tell people. So where to start? Well, first of all, for anyone who's new and tuning in for the first time, my name is Ashleigh King. I am a podcaster, a live streamer. I am a creative director. I do lots of different projects with charities and creatives, artists, just fun people doing cool things. And I love to be busy. I thrive on chaos, especially the creative chaos. And tonight, instead of interviewing somebody else, for the first time, we're going to be actually having me as the guest. So that is so scary. Yeah, I haven't actually done a Nurture Your Zest live stream for a while, and I'm going to get into that tonight. You know, why have I been a bit quiet? But also go through so much stuff. So I think it's worth sharing, first of all, with you that the reason why I decided to do this special live stream where I'm going to get really open and honest and raw and vulnerable, the reason I'm doing this is because something life-changing happened in my life recently. And I know how life-changing it's been for not just myself, but for my family and my husband and my friends and just everyone around me. And I think that I first found out about various things I'm going to tell you tonight through seeing something online. So if there's one person who listens to the story and feels touched and it helps, then I have done my job, and that is my hope for tonight. That's my intention coming in. So my name, as I said, is Ashleigh King. I was born in South Africa, moved to the UK at 14, and I really didn't want to come to the UK. I left a beautiful lifestyle behind, you know, hanging out at the beach, hanging out with my friends, lots of dancing, ballet, all kinds of different things, and moving to the UK where I did not know anyone, and it was scary. And I've lived in the UK for a long time now, and I've had a great time here. And I've got some amazing friends, business colleagues, all sorts of things. So for anyone listening, I know that you could be all over the world. You could be in South Africa or in Zimbabwe, which I also see as home, or in the UK. So thank you so much for tuning in and for listening. So I'm going to kind of just dive into it. Okay, right. I have the biggest secret to tell you, and it was so secret that it was something that I hid from myself, which is kind of funny, right? So for those of you who don't know me too well, I've been doing a Master's in Business Administration and MBA at Newcastle University. It's something I've wanted to do for years. It's something that was on my big goal list that I thought I would hope to do by 35, and I did it at 32, and that was brilliant. And what happened was this has been the hardest year of my life, as it has been for many people. You know, COVID has been rough. And I think what it has meant is that for all of us, we've had more time to really look at ourselves in a very honest way. And actually, sometimes what you see in the mirror and what you see mirrored back to you from your life is not comfortable, and it's difficult to deal with. So about 5-6 weeks ago, I was really depressed and I was in a very bad place. And I actually wanted to hurt myself. I felt like I was a failure. I couldn't do my work, my assignments. I couldn't get things done for uni. I was behind all my friends and colleagues. And I just felt like I just wasn't really achieving anything in life, and what a failure, and etc., etc. Now, what I didn't know at that time was I was undiagnosed with a neurological difference. So I am now able to say that I am ADHD. So I have attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. You can have one or two of two different types, but I have the combined type. And actually, when I was diagnosed, the psychiatrist said that I was off the charts. I ticked all of the boxes and I had every trait going when it came to ADHD. Now, I'm 32 years old and I'm curious that I did not know this and I've never noticed or thought about it before. And so I'm wondering how many other people are out there who have similar challenges to me and think that there's something wrong with them, but actually they're judging their entire world through the lens of a neurotypical way of thinking. So this is super scary to share with you because I'm going to tell you a little bit about ADHD, how it's come about in my life, the kind of challenges that I feel and experience, and what it's like for someone with ADHD. And that is so scary to share. So thank you so much for being here, guys, and for listening. So I guess it's worth telling you how I was diagnosed. So I was watching something online. I don't know if you've seen on Facebook, sometimes videos come up that you can just play. And there's a really funny woman that I follow called Clary. Shout out to her if you know her. She has a kid and a husband, and they share bits about their life. She's a recovering addict. She's written a book called Idiot. And she went for a brain scan at a psychiatrist in California. And I just happened to be watching this, had come across it. And in this, the reason she went to the psychiatrist was because she was struggling with depression, suicidal thoughts, forgetting things, memory loss, just all kinds of stuff. And I was like, okay, well, that sort of sounds like me. When the psychiatrist went into her brain scans and it explained everything to her that was going on, the first thing he said to her was, do you know that you have ADHD? And she was so shocked. She just thought she was a bit of a ditzy person, which is what I thought. I always thought, I just love to be I'm just a bit kooky or weird or whatever. I just don't quite fit in, no matter how hard I try. And so I saw this crazy video, and I just did a bit of research. What is ADHD? What is ADHD in women, particularly, right? There are thousands of women who are undiagnosed who have ADHD. And the reason that they're often not diagnosed is because they're high functioning or they hide it. And for those of you who don't know me, and that's why it's really scared to be so brave and open tonight, I love to share stories and inspire others and hear people's stories. But my own story, I often mask or hide away, or I pretend that I can do everything and I've got it all under control and everything's fine. But actually, for those who are super close to me, or my family, or my husband, Paul, who's amazing, they have to deal with what Paul calls the Ashleigh devil, who just comes in and just is like a huge whirlwind. And before you know it, I've just walked in, but there's little piles of chaos everywhere. And it can be very difficult for the people around me. And the thing is, I've never seen that. I've never understood what it was that would upset people, because I wasn't able to see the behavior and kind of put together why my behavior might be problematic or difficult. And so it became a real frustration for me. And every time I made a mistake or if I failed at something, I would internalize that, and it would become this running script of, Ashleigh, you're such a bad person. You let everyone down. You can't do your job. You're not a good student. You are a failure. You don't have a place in the world. There's no point in you being here. People don't like you. You're not a good friend, because I've forgotten someone's birthday for the 5th time or something. I think it's so funny looking back to have a diagnosis and to know that all of these things that I've done maybe wrong or differently in my life, there's now an understanding and a reasoning and an explanation for it. And that just makes me smile so much to know that it's such a relief to know that you are not necessarily a failure. You just have been working with a book, as in not necessarily a book, but a script that everybody else would follow. And actually you need to do things a little bit differently, or someone might need to show you how to do something. And so that is so powerful to know and understand. I wanted to say that the diagnosis process was very interesting, and I wanted to share that for anyone who maybe is resonating with how I've been feeling and might think they might have ADHD. So to get diagnosed with ADHD in the UK, you actually can go to your doctor, but I was advised by local NHS and ADHD centres that it could be up to a 3-year waiting list just to be diagnosed or evaluated. Could be back and forth between different centres, different psychiatrists, different professionals. And actually, the way I was in my life at the time of the diagnosis, I was so depressed and I wanted to hurt myself so much that I was really at risk to myself, to my business, to my family, my friends. I really was in a difficult place. And what I wanted to say was I decided to go private. I went with a brilliant clinic in London. If anyone's interested, please message me and I can send you the details. But they were so good, so quick. And what I did is I filled in some forms. My mom had to fill in some things about what I was like as a kid and, go through this various stuff. And then I discovered, when I had the assessment, that I was off the charts and I really needed the help. What also shocked me was that because my ADHD had not been diagnosed, the sense of failure and anxiety I was feeling, sore shoulders, sore neck, waking up every morning with a headache, a locked jaw because I'd been grinding my teeth or whatever it might be from anxiety, unable to sleep at night, impulsive behavior, doing so many things like that I knew I shouldn't, getting myself into debt, which affected my family and my relationships, making poor choices. I didn't know that there is a reason in my brain why I have been behaving in these ways. And so for me to go through that diagnosis and understand some of those behaviors was so powerful. And so from that, I have now been on medication for about 5 weeks. And it is life-changing. So first of all, I don't have any sore shoulders when I wake up. My body feels calm. I even am speaking in a calmer way. So it's funny that listening back to some of the podcasts I've done now, or even guest shows where I've been the guest and I've been a bit nervous, I've been talking 1,000 miles a minute, and I just didn't realize because I had so much manic energy that I didn't know how to process or know what to do with. So the calmness and the relief is incredible. But what I really wanted to do this for tonight is to kind of say, one of my favorite quotes is one by Rumi, and it is, "Tear your mask off, you're glorious." And you are glorious, whoever you are, whoever's listening, with whatever you're going through. There is help out there. There are people out there that care about you and want to help you. And I feel like now, why would I want to stay with a mask on? Why would I want to pretend to be perfect or try to do it all or, try and manage a zillion things? I mean, to be honest, I do quite like the chaos. I do like managing a zillion things. I love the diversity in the projects and all of that. But I just feel like, why would you want to pretend that you're perfect? I mean, that for me has been the biggest eye-opening thing in that, yes, there is some very big flaws and difficulties that I have, but at the same time, I'm also I also have things that I can give to the world. That chaos can be that you see things in a different way. You might be in a meeting and you might be able to be more empathetic, or you might be able to just have that vibrant kind of energy where people want to come up to talk to you and get to know you, and all this kind of thing. So I have started to see that, yes, ADHD in the beginning, it was quite a shock. I mean, I'm not joking. I was really out of my depth with it, and I was really scared. And I've been so quiet on social media, so quiet on doing my live streams, my podcast, because I was trying to work through all of this. And I think, now I'm starting to see it as a superpower, to be able to connect with people. I think we don't talk enough about our vulnerabilities. We don't talk enough about neurodiversity, about difference, about celebrating difference, and I think as well, I always thought I was normal. I felt like I was a bit weird, but I thought I was normal. But what is normal? And, what is that? How do we define that? There's so many different things that we can be scared of sharing, and actually the real power and the real courage is in that vulnerability. I've been telling friends and family now about how I've been feeling and about the diagnosis and the neurodiversity. And it's so powerful, because I've had family. I'm not going to go into who they are because I don't want to hurt their feelings or share stuff without their permission. But I've got family that I thought, really didn't like me or care about me, or I just felt like there was a problem in the relationship, and I was afraid to kind of connect with them because of what I saw were my perceived failings, not being good enough at certain things, like being great at housekeeping or whatever. And I feel like that was all in my head. So when I've now said to them, wow, I actually have ADHD and it's been life-changing, and this is how I've been feeling, it's been able to open up so much healing and so much discussion, and so those relationships can get better. And so I'm wondering how many people out there, gosh, since I had that crazy experience of seeing something and looking into it and wondering how I could get to 32 and not know. I've got friends, various people who I've been chatting to, and they have ADHD or they have autism, but they've never shared it because they were scared because someone might judge them, or, just being different. So it really is powerful to have that diagnosis and to kind of step into a new world, but also to unlearn habits. So, we're all learning so much about ourselves, especially during lockdown and COVID, but we also have our own internalized dialogue. And so now for me, all of that sense of you're a failure, you're not doing good enough, you're not fast enough, you're not getting it, what is it you're not getting, why are you bad at maths, all of these different things, it can actually be changed to, wow, okay, so you need a bit of help here, but who can you ask for that support? Who can you ask for that help? And when you ask for help, people want to help you. So it's really scary. But that radical vulnerability of saying, right, guys, I have taken this mask off. This is me. This is who I am. And yeah, I'm going to embrace it. And I want to be the best me I can be. And I can't do that with a mask on. So yeah, that's kind of my story. There's a few points I just wanted to check because I didn't want to lose track of what I wanted to share with you today. But yeah, I think one of the biggest things that I wanted to share was just the procrastination. So with the MBA, I mean, I really struggled with that, just the sense of overwhelm and the concentration. And actually, it's amazing how much medication, when you've had an issue with your brain, to have the tablets, to have, something that's going to actually fix that sort of roadmap or that motorway in your brain that's not quite connecting. It's really, it helps. And the medication has been life-changing. And I think this is a really important point here. so many of us are afraid of taking medication because of stigma. We're afraid to say, hey, I'm taking Ritalin, or I'm taking something for depression or anxiety or whatever it might be. And actually, for many of us, that medication can change our lives. It can save our lives, and it does. And not just for ourselves, but for the people around us who we love and care about. So yeah, I think, there's some great comments coming through. Thank you so much, guys, for engaging and, sharing your thoughts with me. And, I really have got some amazing people around me. So it's so nice to know that some people are not shocked. And my lovely friend Nicola, we've been bonding over this because we've just found out at the same time and just been diagnosed at the same time and just been taking meds. And it's incredible the difference it can be in your life. But when you tell people and they're like, really? Tell me something I didn't know. How could you be so chaotic or quirky or just strange and not know? And I find it so funny because I've always thought I was self-aware and very empathetic with others, but I just did not know this. It was such a blind spot. And I'm wondering how many people, if they were diagnosed when they were younger as kids. I mean, as a child, I was always chatting. I've written Ashleigh King, the Chief Chatterbox in my title here. But as a child, I was always chatting, and I would get in trouble in class every day. I would fidget. I had, parents saying to me all the time, sorry, not parents, teachers, Ashleigh, I will chop your hands off if you don't stop moving. In classes and lectures, I'm always doodling because that's how information has really helped me to, it's helped me to learn to be able to just doodle. And so I'm wondering, we see so many people as disruptive or angry or frustrated, or we put all these labels on different things. But what if people just have a neurodiversity and actually they need a bit of help? So if you are working with kids, or if you are working with someone like me who maybe might feel, I know with my MBA, it's been hard for some of my lecturers because it might seem like I just don't care about what I'm doing on my work, or, I'm getting work in late, but it's not that at all. It's just that there are certain challenges and patterns in my brain structure that I have to work really hard at. So if we can just encourage each other to be more accepting of difference and diversity. For those who are going through a recent diagnosis, I was going to say that my lovely friend Nicola and she's really inspired me to be more open and vulnerable and share this kind of thing. And we are actually going to be starting a podcast. I'm really excited to share. So it will be a live stream. We're still hammering out details. But it'll be really fun to just chat about neurodiversity, whether it's just ADHD, or we might have guests or people who are going through similar struggles. But I think, now I understand that I am different. It's made me more open to learning about things like autism or bipolar or different neurological challenges. And so I'm hopeful that this live stream tonight might encourage people to be a bit more open to looking at things like that too. Nick, I can't wait either. So Nicola said she can't wait to launch the new podcast and live stream together. Me too. It's going to be great to have two chatterboxes together. I bet you won't be able to shut us up. And what I really like about Nicola is she has her own business called the Mint Business Club, but that is mint as in, if you think of mint as in the flavoring or the plant or herb. But for me, I've got Nurture or Zest as my brand. So I just love the idea of mixing the zest and the mint, and it just feels really zingy and zany to me. So that's really exciting. I hope that tonight's chat has really kind of touched some people. If anyone wants to message me or drop me an email on their thoughts and share, if it's helped them, or just any reflections, I won't mind. I think for those of you who are commenting on my hair, thank you so much. So as I mentioned, I've had a bit of a rough time over the last 5 weeks and before, just working out what was wrong, that there was something wrong, working out that the diagnosis. And so my lovely mom on Friday, I handed my last MBA extension in, and she was like, right, I'm going to treat you to get your head in. And it was like, what is the most different thing I could do? So this is it. But yeah, I think it's really, really nice to ask for help, be aware that people love you, and we can only be the best people we are when we embrace the good, and the bad, the light and the shadow. And I am going to be sharing more vulnerably going forward, and radical vulnerability, radical honesty, as Brené Brown, one of my favorite inspirational speakers, says, can really help to change your life. So I encourage you as well, if you are working with me, if you are a friend of mine or a family member, let's be more honest, let's be more open about our struggles. And I'm really I think that's all I can say, because I'm really shy about becoming open about all of this. But thank you so much for listening and for being here. And I should have said as well that this is now it's actually ADHD Awareness Month, which is crazy, because both myself and Nicola were diagnosed this month in October. So to be able to say to people, tell the story is really powerful at a time when it's a whole month of October dedicated to, raising awareness of this incredible brain condition that, yes, can be challenging, but is also a superpower and has beautiful, what's the word? It has beautiful outcomes too. So yeah, that's all from me tonight. I will be live streaming again now that I've got my meds, I've got my confidence back, I know who I am and who I am not. And so I look forward to live streaming again, sharing more stories, bringing more entrepreneurs to you. I should say before I go, I did promise to talk briefly about my business. And I just want to say the mistakes I've made over the last year being an entrepreneur, trying to do everything, trying to sometimes spend loads of money on the wrong things, it's been really interesting that the biggest lessons are the ones that come up for you all the time, the same patterns. And I think this has helped me to understand my life so much more. But it's really interesting that many entrepreneurs do have mental health difficulties, or many entrepreneurs actually have ADHD. And a lot of the beauty of working for yourself and designing your dream life is that actually you can build your life around you and around your condition. And I just want to end with something that's really helped me. So I'm a huge fan of English literature and great classical books. And so I love Sir Arthur Conan Doyle and Sherlock Holmes. And the character of Sherlock Holmes really helped me to understand that Sherlock as a character has so many classic ADHD tendencies, like being able to just only focus on the things that he's interested in and hyper focus on that, but there's lots he doesn't know about. Sometimes he's super manic, sometimes he's really down. So actually being able to realize that there are amazing people out there, Jim Carrey, Will Smith, so many people with ADHD, and it's just about being open about it and celebrating it rather than hiding it away. So that's all from me. I look forward to a new live stream with Nicola Jane Little soon. And I also look forward to bringing you more stories of people who are courageous, creative, curious, and that will inspire and bring zest and help you to nurture your zest. So yeah, comment, leave me any thoughts and drop me an email, and I look forward to speaking with you again soon. Thank you so much, and I will end this now. Thank you.
You've been listening to Nurture Your Zest. You can find us online on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram and LinkedIn at Nurture Your Zest. If you've liked today, please subscribe. You can also leave us a review if you're feeling extra kind. Today's podcast has been made available through the kind sponsorship of TL Multimedia and That Branding Company. We look forward to catching up with you again soon as you learn to nurture your zest.